Somebody to draw, somebody I. 1 pound Main Street as a coming away. Ow! Hello everybody, Donald here. And welcome to 1 pound Main Street. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Right Down Main Street. I'm your host, Bryce Waters, and thank y'all for joining me today. This is a Disney World podcast dedicated to bringing a little Disney magic to your daily routine. I apologize for the episodes not coming out as consistently as I would like. I've had a lot going on in the personal life. I've recently got a new job, so I've been kind of busy with other things, but I do want to get back to trying to make this a consistent thing. I will be putting out videos no matter what. It's just as of right now, there's not a really consistent schedule. That's all I'm trying to say. So I do apologize about that, but I appreciate y'all sticking with me and checking me out. Today's episode 5, is going to be a little shorter than usual, actually a good bit shorter than usual, just because I don't have too much to go over on this segment that I want to do, but I really do like the segment that I'm about to go over, which is the hidden secrets of Walt Disney World. I'm not going to be hitting every single little hidden secret because there are so many. You know, Disney is always great with those small details, and, you know, one little thing can mean a bunch of different things. So these are some that I have read or I've known about, things that I have already known, as well as things that I read and I didn't know, that I just really found fascinating. So without further ado, let's get into this Hidden Secrets segment. All right. To start things off, Disney likes to set the scene for whatever area you are in, whether it's the music, the scenery, you know, stuff like that. So let's take it to the meaning of this show. Not the meaning, but the setting of this show, Main Street. Let's take it to Main Street. All right. We all know, or at least have heard, the talk about how Disney pumps in those smells from the bakery to kind of fill up Main Street, just kind of give you that extra ooh. And you know, it works. Oh my gosh, it works. Every time I walk down Main Street, you know, I just want to go into the bakery and get some baked goods that they're cooking up in there. But that is not this hidden secret. This hidden secret I just read online. I didn't know this, but apparently, when you're walking down Sunset Boulevard, right? You're walking down Sunset Boulevard and you see the Hollywood Tower, and you hear all the screams, you know, going up and down from the elevator with the doors opening. You hear the screams and everything. Apparently, those are actually, I mean, some are real. Trust me, I'm up there screaming my head off. But apparently those screams are sometimes pre-recorded, so you can kind of hear it further out and a little clearer, and it makes you want to ride the ride. Obviously, it gives that extra little bit of thrill factor, you know, oh, this is going to be exciting. But really, it's such a small and minute detail that they decided to fill that street with the screams, the terrified screams of people going up and down on the haunted elevator. And I just think that's really cool. It definitely sets the mood if you're going down the street to go to the Tower of Terror. And also, I think that's why, this is just me talking, I did not read this anywhere, but I think that's why they put Rock and Roller Coaster off to the left, is because they wanted, the Hollywood Tower to be that centerpiece down the street, that end of the walkway thing. And, as you're walking down, you're hearing the screams and you just want to ride that ride. And it gives you that extra little boost of adrenaline when you start to go up, because you're hearing all these screams. So it is just a really small detail. And I will preface this, I read these online. Some of them may not be true. Everywhere I saw this was a thing. I didn't know this. This is one of the ones I didn't know. But yeah, this is just a small detail that I think really sets the atmosphere for just walking down that street on your way to Tower of Terror, just giving you a little boost of adrenaline or excitement for the ride. Number 2, and these are in no order or anything. Number 2 are the flagpoles on Main Street. This is one that I did know about. The flags on top of the buildings along Main Street, other than the main one that's in the center, the big one that is at the front of the park, that's the only real flag there, real American flag. The others are actually missing a star, just so they don't have to go on top of the buildings and change the height of the flag at certain parts of the day, which is also another fact. They aren't necessarily they're flagpoles, but they actually act as lightning rods to, if anything does happen where lightning does strike on the ground, it won't. That way it deters the lightning from, Main Street, which I think is really fascinating. So, it's cool seeing Disney take things, and it's always funny to hear Disney kind of getting away with things. The height of Cinderella Castle being, I believe, like a foot under the required height for there to be a light on top. But it's cool to see them, think, oh, well, we don't want to have to deal with putting each flag, because there's a lot, each flag down. So, we'll just take away a star so it's not an official American flag. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And Disney takes things that, look like flags and flag poles, and you think, oh, it's just part of the setting, but they do serve a purpose. I feel like everything at Disney does. I mean, of course it does. It serves a purpose. And I think it's cool that they're using him as lightning rods as well. Number 3 is another one that I did know already. I've seen it before. And when you are exiting the Haunted Mansion and you see on the left the graveyard, if you look in the very back, you're going to see a statue of none other than Mr. Toad. And that's a callback. In case you don't know, that is a callback to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride that was at Disney World and shut down, and it was replaced by Pooh, which is also cool because if this is another little hidden secret inside of a hidden secret, if you're riding the Winnie the Pooh ride, there is actually a small scene. I think it's a picture. It's a little picture of Mr. Owl and Toad, and they're exchanging something, and it looks almost like a deed. And it's funny because, people, and I said this in episode 2, I believe, where people are saying that Mr. Toad is handing off the deed to the ride to Mr. Owl. Is it Mr. Owl or just Owl? I don't know. I don't remember. Oh well. I don't sound too Disney crazed right now, huh? But yeah, the statue in the graveyard, I think that's just a great little detail. I love how Disney, whenever rides, go extinct or shut down, I like how no matter what takes its place or whatever, they always have some sort of callback to the ride, so it's never forgotten. There's a lot of that scene around the entire Disney World, park, especially Epcot. There's a lot in Epcot with Horizons, the World of Motion. So I know they have symbols around Epcot of the rides. So I just love how Disney likes to call back to the rides that kind of just started it all. This is one that I actually didn't know. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. basically, when designing the parks, they wanted to make it completely immersive. Obviously, it's been how long, and everyone that goes there comes back, oh, it was so immersive. But it takes it to another level when you hear that Disney designed each land so it's not seen from another land. When you're in Fantasyland, you're not going to be able to see, Liberty Square or Frontierland or Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, you still have to go kind of around that corner where Pooh is, and behind the carousel, that's when you start to see Tomorrowland start to open up. So I just think that's a great detail, and it just makes it so much more immersive. The only lands that you're actually able to see together are Frontierland and Liberty Square, and they do that on purpose because you can see the progression from Liberty Square to the Wild Wild West. So that's just a cool little detail. And I know there's as far as that goes, there's rocks that kind of symbolize the transition from one area to the next. So I just think it's really cool. And I will be Liberty Square is full of little hidden secrets or hidden details that I will be talking about. This next one is another one that I didn't know, but it makes a lot of sense because it's literally right in front of you. And if you don't see it, that's totally fine because you don't really think about it. But Disney actually dyes all of their water to a, the classic brownish kind of greenish tint to it. It's it's like that because they don't want you to see what's underneath the water. Think of Jungle Cruise. When you're going through, it wouldn't be as magical if you're seeing all the mechanics underneath the water. So they figured, we got to cover that up. Let's dye the water very thick and very brown and green, and you can't see anything. That way you don't see the tracks, you don't see the mechanics underneath all the animals and everything. So I just think that's a really smart, really easy thing to think about, and it's so obvious that you don't even think about it, which is just it's awesome. This next hidden secret is something I really respect Disney about, and it's such a small detail, but Disney is always trying to do something good. I've seen a lot of good done by Disney, and what this one is if you have a kid that wants to throw some change into a fountain, or if you want to go up and make a wish, don't really think twice about it. If you got extra change, do it. Just because they collect all the change. I don't know how frequently. It might be every other day or every week or something. But they collect all the change in their fountains where people throw it, and they actually donate all that change to different charities. And it's so cool to hear that. Just taking something as simple as throwing a quarter into a fountain, and just being able to donate that to charity. And I'm sure it's a good bit of money. I know it's a lot of money. And that's just such a smart way to give back to, charities and everything. What else are you going to do with all the change that's thrown in the fountains? You could keep it, but why not give it to charity? And that's what they did. And I really respect that. This next one is something that I've actually tried to go, do, but I haven't been able to, and I'll just leave it at that and say that if you go to Casey's and get a hot dog and there's no seating, if you leave Casey's, you can go down Main Street, and there's a little alleyway. If you're leaving Casey's, it would be on your left. If you're coming in onto Main Street from the entrance, it'd be on your right. There's a little alleyway, and if you go to the back, there is some seating options, and you sit back there, just wait a while, and actually through the windows up in the buildings, you can hear some conversations between the citizens of Main Street. And This is just an extra bit of magic. It's not advertised or anything. You wouldn't know it unless you go back there, which every time I'm there, there's really nobody back there except for the silhouette or the caricature guy. But yeah, it's just a small little detail that adds a little bit of magic to Main Street. And I like I said, I've tried to go back there. Allie and I went back there and sat there for a couple minutes, and I wasn't able to hear anything. So I don't know how frequently it happens, but I've heard recordings of it, and I just think it's really cool. All right, back to Liberty Square. Liberty Square has some pretty interesting hidden secrets, special facts. There is, other than in the restaurants, there are no restrooms in Liberty Square because they wanted it to be 100% historically correct, and there were no restrooms. So that leads to another thing: is if you're looking down at the ground, you'll notice through Liberty Square, there is actually, I believe it's red on the sides, but there's a brown trail through the middle. That's actually the sewage. So back then they didn't have restrooms, so they would throw their sewage out in the middle of the street, and it would collect up and kind of create this little nasty river. So yeah, that's what you're walking on if you're walking down that brown path. Just letting you know. I think it's kind of funny. I feel like they did that just because people would find out about it and be like, huh, that's kind of funny. But the restroom thing, yeah, I mean, I understand why they did it, and you got Frontierland restrooms right there, but it wouldn't hurt to have a restroom in there. I'm just saying, you could catch people at the wrong times, and I'm not speaking from experience. This next one is pretty cool because it has to do with a college in Florida, and that would be Florida State University. It's funny, my mom went there, and I pointed this out to her, and she actually got a really big kick out of it. If you are on Splash Mountain in the Laughing Place, once you go down to the Laughing Place, there's a gopher that pops out of the ceiling above you, and you can only hear it if you're directly under it when it says its voice line, but it says FSU, which is a callback from an Imagineer that went to FSU. He wanted to put his own little touch on the ride when he was making it, so I guess he decided to give a callback to the college or university that he went to, which is FSU, and that's what you hear. It's hard to hear. It almost sounds like it says something else. I don't know what it is. It's hard to understand what it is saying, but it's been noted that it does say FSU, and that's the reason. Is a lot of Imagineers like to put in a little Easter egg just to make their mark on the ride, and this was his. Here's one that I didn't know. Disney makes all their stuff pop, if that makes any sense, and this will in a second. But the walkways on World Showcase are actually red for a reason. They're red because when red is present, it makes green pop. And so they made the walkways red to make the grass on the sides look greener, which is kind of interesting. It's a cool little color fact for you. I used to mix paint for Home Depot, so I like things about color. If you put red next to green, it makes green look a lot more vibrant and kind of pop a little bit more, and even if it's just a little bit, and they thought of that, and that's why the walkways are a red tint. This is one that a lot of people know about, but I just think it's it's the thought behind it is on another level, and it's the Tower of Terror. Tower of Terror. It wasn't originally, I believe, supposed to be the color it is, but when they were building it, they realized, oh, whoops, you can see this from Epcot. And if you look closely at the Morocco Pavilion from the right angle, you can actually see the Tower of Terror behind it. And so they decided to paint it the same color as the buildings in Morocco, just so it doesn't kill the effect. Because, I mean, if you're in World Showcase and you look up and you see the Tower of Terror behind Morocco and it was a different color, it'd be very distracting and kind of take you out of it a little bit. So they decided to paint Tower of Terror the colors of the buildings in the Morocco Pavilion, which I just think it's funny that is the reason they had to paint it that color, because I think I read somewhere that they didn't initially want to paint it that color. But yeah, it's a little detail that I just find very amusing. And every time I go to World Showcase, I always look to see if I can spot the Tower of Terror. It's kind of hard to miss. There's definitely a lot of angles that you could see it at. So Spaceship Earth has the geodesic dome. And if you've ever been to Disney when it rains, raise your hand. Oh, everybody? If you've ever been to Disney when it rains, you'll notice there's not, unless the water is trickling down from the walkways, you will never find water dripping from the bottom of Spaceship Earth if you're underneath it. It would be dry. That's because they, with the dome, they have little drainage pipes in each, indent on the dome itself. Little drainage pipes that bring the water down and remove the water from the facility. But it's really cool because, and also, if it rains and they didn't have that drain, forget getting water pouring out from the sides. You think about the weight that would add to it. I'm sure that would create a good bit of damage. But yeah, they have a drainage system in each indent where the water goes down and it gets flushed out, which I think is very smart. And I don't want to keep saying these are very smart because it's Disney and, they're smart about everything. And so I just think it's a really cool little fact. It's always cool hearing these hidden secrets because it's things that you wouldn't think about. At least I wouldn't think about. So yeah. Here's another one that I didn't know, but each different vehicle in Rock and Roller Coaster or limo in Rock and Roller Coaster plays a different song. And, whether I don't know the different songs they play. I just know that Love in an Elevator, if you get on that one, pay attention to the lyrics. I know it's hard because it's such an exhilarating ride and you're losing it and you got music blasting and seeing all these neon signs and everything, but listen to the lyrics because it's awesome. They changed Love in an Elevator to Love in a Roller Coaster. And that is on another level. I love that detail. I'm not a huge Aerosmith fan. Like, I enjoy their music, but I've never gotten big into them. But I really do appreciate this little hidden secret because they the fact that they kind of I would assume they re-recorded. I haven't heard it with my own ears, but I read it. I'm assuming they re-recorded at least that line in the song, and I think that's awesome. Definitely worth checking out. I don't know if you could ask a cast member or not if you could wait for a Love in an Elevator, limo, or if they even know. It could just be random, but if you get that song, pay attention to the lyrics, and as far as I know, it will say Love in a Roller Coaster. All right, this one is for the people that went to Disney when Everest first opened. If you notice, there's a difference with the Yeti when Everest first opened. When it first opened, the Yeti was very mobile. It was, obviously it wouldn't move, but it would be very lively, swinging its arms around, have all this movement to it. Now it just swings its arm just a little bit. And they created what is called in the Disney community the Disco Yeti because they added the strobe lights to it. What happened was when they first opened it, it was fine for a while, but over time, the constant movement on an animatronic of that size, it was a lot of movement too, a lot. And so what would happen is the base actually started to crack a little bit. And obviously that's not okay. We don't want anything falling off or breaking during ride operations. So yeah, so what they did was when they noticed that start to happen, I'm assuming they fixed that, but they programmed the Yeti to move less, a good bit less, and they incorporated strobe lighting into that scene now, just so you still get that sense of danger, and it's blinding and exhilarating, and it does add to it. I just think it's funny that it's now called the Disco Yeti with the strobe lights. But yeah, it's a little fact about Everest and the Yeti, because it's not the same. Disco Yeti. I really like that name. All right, and this is my last one. I am probably going to do another list, a part 2 of this, just because like I said, I really enjoy hidden secrets. Anyway, this is my last one because this is one of my favorites, which is the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is just so... And Animal Kingdom isn't even my favorite park. I love the park. It's not my favorite, but the Tree of Life is one of my favorite things at Disney World because, first off, it's built based from an oil rig, which is kind of interesting because they needed something to sustain, the weather of Florida and everything, and have that strong base to it, which that's cool. And that's kind of the hidden secret. But yeah, the Tree of Life, it has over 300. This is more of a fact than a hidden secret. It has over 300 animals carved on the tree. I'm an animal guy. I love animals, and I just think that's so cool. And especially when you're walking down to Bug's Life, it's nice to walk along the roots of the tree and see all the little animals carved into it. I enjoy it every time, and every time you go, you spot new animals. It's never the same. It's almost like they change them out, which they don't. That's impossible, but it's almost like they change. You never see the same one twice almost, and especially since they're carved in, they kind of, obviously they blend in a little bit, but it's once you find a new one, you're like, oh, that's a fox or something like that. But it's so pretty, and it's really cool. All right, that is it for my list of hidden secrets at Walt Disney World. I will be doing a part 2 to this because I enjoy hidden secrets, and I'd like to get more into depth with them down the line. I don't have a script or anything when I do this, as I've said before. So I just kind of have a list of my hidden secrets and a little summary about each. But yeah, I said this would be a shorter video. It's actually coming out to a little over 30 minutes. So I will end it here, and I will be working on a part 2 of this list. Maybe get some more lesser known hidden secrets if I can find them. But yeah, I really appreciate y'all checking me out, and I just want to give a couple of announcements. I will be doing this is obviously episode 5 podcast. Episode 6 is going to be a little different. Episode 6 is going to be a video on YouTube, and before I say this, my channel will not change. It will not change. So if you see this on my channel once I post it, just know it's more for the entertainment of what I found, which I'll explain. I recently found a Disney World server on a game. Everyone's heard of it, Minecraft. I used to play Minecraft when I was, younger. I haven't played in over 10 years or something. I don't know how long the game's been out. I played in middle school, but I actually just bought the game because I found this on my computer, and I'm pretty sure you can only do it on the computer. I don't think you can do it on Xbox. But it's really cool. I didn't explore too much because I want to make a video about it, just in case anyone has any kids that play Minecraft and want to, it's a lot cheaper than going to Disney World. Obviously it's not the same. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying Disney World is still closed, so It's $30 for the game. But, Disney World is still closed, and I just kind of wanted to see what it's like and how detailed it is and everything. So if you're not interested in, getting it, I completely understand. And I'll have my video up in case you just want to see, like, how crazy this is. It is insane. If you know anything about that game, it takes forever just to make little things. But someone went through and made Disney World, and I'm not even talking about just Magic Kingdom. I'm talking about they made Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom. They made the Transportation and Ticket Center. I think they made one of the water parks. They made a cruise ship. It's a lot. And like I said, I'm not trying to be a gaming channel or anything. I honestly just wanted to post it in case you had any kids that want to try it out and explore a little bit. It would be fun for the family to do, just kind of because you can ride the rides and there's audio that can sync to it online, and you can get the audio from the rides. You can also get the park music and everything. So I would definitely recommend, if you got a kid, checking it out, or if you want to go check it out, that's, do it. It's definitely something. If you have any just little interest in video games, it is something that is pretty cool to see. So that would be my next video. It's not going to be necessarily a podcast. It is still episode 6, but it will just be me kind of going through and exploring this wonderful thing. And I'll have a tutorial on how to get that server on Minecraft. Gosh, this sounds so weird. I never thought I would do this. I never thought I would play Minecraft ever again, but Disney did it to me. So, one more announcement is I, recently created a website. I would appreciate if you guys go check it out. I actually just kind of redid the website. I didn't like the background, so I changed it up a little bit. I would appreciate if you guys reach out and let me know, or, go to the Facebook. Let me know what you guys think about the show so far. I would, Instagram. You can even just comment on one of my posts about how you're liking the show so far. Is there anything I need to change? Something you guys want to see? You can also do the contact tab on my website and reach me directly. I mean, you can reach me directly on Facebook, Instagram, or my website. But on my contact tab, if you reach out to me, it will go directly to my email, so I'll see it right then and there. So yeah, I'd appreciate it if you guys go and follow the Facebook page, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube. And if you have time, check out my website if you can, and just let me know. Yeah, so I really appreciate you guys listening, and this has been fun going over some little hidden secrets. I would love to hear some of y'all's favorite hidden secrets, so let me know on Instagram or on the comments on YouTube what your favorite hidden secrets are at Walt Disney World, or tell me some that maybe I didn't know. I would love to hear some. I love hidden secrets. They're awesome. Disney is great with hidden secrets. Every turn you take, there's hidden secrets. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all listening, and I will see y'all real soon.